Welcome to Chef Allie's Farm Fresh Kitchen. I'm Chef Allie and I've been stirring up a love of farm fresh cooking all across my home state of Kansas for over a decade. I enjoy teaching you about food, cooking, and family farms. And from farm to fork, Kansas farmers are always working hard so we can enjoy delicious Kansas-raised food.
Welcome back to Chef Allie's Farm Fresh Kitchen. It smells good. I just wish there was smell-o-vision right now.
Smell-o-vision, we need that.
Because we have just browned some ham cubes, and that smell is so good.
Yeah, it just draws us together, doesn't it?
Yes.
We always want to be in the heart of the home, the kitchen. And what I did, we're actually making a cheese tortellini skillet today with ham. And so what I did, you and I were visiting earlier about sometimes there's little techniques within a recipe that if you take the extra time to do it is going to set your dish that you create over the top.
Right.
And browning is one of those things. So what we did is we preheated the skillet, put our diced ham in there, just a little bit of olive oil I added, and just browned it off, and then we put it back in our container to add at the end of our recipe.
And you were saying this is something you would do with like little smokies that you'd make for a party?
Yes, any kind of meat that you're going to be using, even though it's fully cooked, which would be like little smokies are, if you put it in there and brown it in a tiny bit of oil, we have to be careful because even though we're using a healthy oil like olive oil, it still has a lot of fat in it. For every tablespoon, which is about the size of your thumb, it's 120 calories. So think how fast that adds up. So we either want to spray our pan with nonstick spray or just use a tiny bit of oil to brown off in. So what we'll do is we'll preheat our pan just a little bit. We're going to use medium heat here, and we'll add just a tiny bit of olive oil, probably about a teaspoon, to our pan. And then I'm going to let you use the garlic press, Amanda, and I have put 2 cloves of garlic in there. So use your mommy strong hands to push that through, and I doubled up on you. So it's a challenge to get that through there. You can do it.
I said, don't worry, Allie, I've got mom's strength.
You're doing great. Flip it over, and I'll scrape it off for you. And that's plenty right there.
Oh,
that's about
it?
2 cloves. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's real important at this part of the recipe that we only cook our garlic here for about 30 seconds. Because when you put garlic into a pan where that's the only thing that's in there outside of the oil, it can overcook really quickly, and garlic tends to get bitter. So we only want to put it in here for about 30 seconds. Okay. And then what we're going to add at that point is our cream. Okay. Which, of course, yes, this is whipping cream.
Heavy whipping cream.
Yeah, and what we want to do at this point is we're just going to start to get this thickened up. This is a wonderful, wonderful skillet meal. My family loves this. I only make it occasionally because it is so fattening. But you know, all things in moderation. And we do have to have some special dishes that we can whip up at a moment's notice when we need to celebrate something at home. So we've added our whipping cream, and we're just going to bring this to a gentle simmer because we don't want to boil our cream, or what can happen?
I don't know what can happen.
It can curdle. And we do not want curdled cream.
No, we don't.
Absolutely not.
Sounds gross.
Yeah, so at this point, I'm going to have you add our cheese tortellini, which I cooked ahead of time. I just brought my water to a boil.
I'm gonna splash.
Yeah, be careful there. You're doing great. You won't splash us too much. Well, okay, never mind.
If I go that way.
Yeah, so I cooked the tortellini ahead of time, boiled it in just a little bit of simmering water for a few minutes, just until it was tender. And you can purchase this either in the freezer section or the refrigerated area of your grocery store. I love to keep a bag of this in my freezer at all times, you know, for emergency meals.
Easy go-to.
Exactly. The neat thing about a skillet meal too is in the summertime, you don't have to heat up your house by heating up the oven. So I'm always looking for something I can do on my stovetop.
And we like the one skillet meals. That's
absolutely
nice.
Yes. Moms like us are always looking for that.
I don't want to do a lot of dishes. I don't want to use every piece of my stovetop. So this is perfect.
Right. So what we'll do with this dish is we'll just simmer this. I'm going to turn up my heat just a little bit here. We're going to simmer this over medium or medium high just for a few minutes until that cream starts to thicken, which will not take any time at all. You can literally, once you've boiled your tortellini, you can have this meal on the table in like 10 minutes flat.
Awesome.
Super, super fast. So here's our ham that we had earlier that we browned off. I'm going to go ahead and put that back in there. And then we do want to season this with a little bit of salt and pepper. I'll let you do that part if you would like to. Just to taste. And that's one thing. As we're doing that to taste, we can always add more. So just go a little bit of at a time. Also, you're adding crushed black pepper. Sometimes people don't care for that in a sauce that's white. Doesn't bother me a bit, but if you prefer, you could add white pepper to that, and you would never even see the white pepper in that nice white sauce. Here's our Parmesan. I'm going to go ahead and let you add that.
Okay, all of it?
And another thing that I like to keep in my freezer for my family is a nice ham steak. This is something that's really handy to keep in your freezer because you can chop this up and you can add it to scalloped potatoes, to scrambled eggs, different things. And the neat thing about this, typically they're about $5. They freeze well, and you can just pull it out of the freezer, thaw it, and chop it up and add it to all kinds of different things. You don't need a whole lot of ham either because it's so flavorful. So we don't need a bunch of it. We just want just a little bit to add some nice flavor and some texture. So as you can see, we're simmering. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit because, again, we don't want to get that too hot. And then the very last thing that we would stir in right as this thickens up, which you can see it's already starting to thicken and come together, would be our beautiful green peas, which is just really for color. But I think it really makes this dish just totally pop when we add that green. Can I tip this up maybe just a little bit so you guys can see it? Yeah. So all the colors of the tricolor tortellini plus the green peas and the ham, and then when that gets thick, you serve it up in nice deep bowls with some more Parmesan over the top.
Oh my gosh, you're right about it being a rich meal.
It is.
So
very
good.
Rich. Wonderful. Yes, and this recipe is on my blog, chefallysfarmfreshkitchen.com, and I know it's at Mom's Every Day as well. So I hope everybody enjoys it.
Yes, absolutely. Let us know what you've tried at home and enjoyed. I like when people say, I tried this recipe.
Yeah, makes you feel really good. I know it makes me feel really good when people cook and they're successful and their family's happy, because that's just totally essential in my opinion.
Absolutely. All right, Allie, thank you.
You're totally welcome.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.
We're the Kansas Farm Food Connection, Kansas farmers and ranchers who are proud to put wholesome and nutritious food on your table. It's our mission to connect farms to families and families to farms through education and firsthand experience. Together, we're raising Kansas.